Hello everybody and welcome to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Apologies for the video today being a little bit late and pre-recorded. I was going to go live earlier today but got called away for a family thing that I needed to get to, so I'm going to just do it today and record it now and share it with you all. So that seems to have, just checking my iPad to make sure it's working. I'm not sure about the shadows on my iPad. As I say, I'm recording this in the evening, so I've got some lights set up that hopefully won't be too hard for you guys to see. But anyway, I'll get this shared for you today. Anyway, so the card I'm doing today for you is called a W fold card, or that's what you can find it on Pinterest and Instagram if you search that phrase. And if I hold it up like that, you'll see exactly why. We have a W. I suppose if I hand it that way, it'd probably be easier to see. You have a W there that you can that's the fold here. Just move those stamp boxes away because they tend to reflect a little bit of the light in this evening sort of setup. Anyway, so it's a W fold card. I'm using the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set and dies that are in the current 2020-2021 annual catalogue. But I'm also using this really beautiful designer series paper that although it looks like it's retired for customers, it's still actually available as a supply item for demonstrators. It was when I went and had a look this morning. So if you are a demonstrator or you know a demonstrator, just get in contact with them and see whether they have any supplies of this paper if you absolutely adore it and you want to get hold of it. I'm assuming it'll be for a while stocks last type deal. Anyway, so this card I think is absolutely lovely. It can highlight 4 different panels of images. So I've got for 2 straight designer series paper and 2 with the die, the stamped and coloured images and some sentiments. And then you just basically do a decorating like a normal card on the outside. But that's really, really quite special. I have actually done a couple today or over this weekend. This one here with the Good Morning Magnolia. And also this one where I used the Dino Raw Suite, which I think is really, really nice for a young person. So I've got all my dinosaurs out here, as I say, being highlighted in each of the panels, and sort of a normal sort of decoration on the front. But that's really sweet as well. So as you can see, you can turn this design to just about any stamp set that you would like to feature. So the one I'm doing today, or for you tonight, is a little bit more, I suppose I'm going for a more sophisticated look than the pretty pinks in this one and the childish colours on that one. I'm actually going for some blacks in this one, which I think probably will be a little bit mature, a little bit more sophisticated than the pinks and the greens. So I've got here, and it's going to actually be, you'll notice this cardstock that I have cut is actually a little bit wider than the card I made previously. So in the comments for this video, I will actually put the measurements for both cards. So this one here will fit in a 5 inch by 5 inch, no, 6 inch by 6 inch or 15 centimetre square envelope for giving, whereas this one fits in a normal sort of 4 by 6 envelope. So I'm going for something a little bit different in this one. So we start with our card base, which is in basic black cardstock, and I have cut that 11 inches by 5 inches and scored at 5.5. So I've basically got almost square but not quite card base, so it's actually a 5.5 by 5 card base there. Then I've got a couple of white panels. So instead of the designer series paper inside like I have with the first card, I'm actually just going to go for white panels. So they are cut 1/2 centimetre or 1/4 of an inch smaller than the card base, as you can see. And then I have various other bits and bobs which I'll come back to in a moment. So I might glue these in first, just for somewhere to start. I'll grab my glue, just glue these in. No, that glue's not going to work. I knew I had a almost finished one there and grabbed it first time. Okay, so I'm just going to glue these in on the inside of our card base. So these must be 4 3/4 by 5 1/4, just to give that sort of 1/4 of an inch all round gap, or 1/8 of an inch all round. Just pop those in. Okay, so up to now you have the thing that makes this card special, and this is actually our W here. So this is a piece of cardstock which is also 11 centimetres long by 1.5 inches wide, and it's been scored in half and 1/4. So it's been scored into quarters. So I think that's basically 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and 8 1/4. I think something like that. So as I say, I'll put all the measurements in the comments. So this is what's going to form our W inside this card, like that. So what we actually do is glue either end of our W onto our card base. So we'll do that. I might actually, first of all, as I say, I'm going for a slightly different look. So to gauge how high I want our W, I'm going to actually pop this sentiment. And this sentiment is from the Good Morning Magnolia, and it says, "Not only for what you do, but for being someone so special." So that actually ties into the thinking of you, which is what I'm going to put on the outside. So thinking of you, not only for what you do, but for being someone so special. So it's sort of as a continuation of the outside sentiment. So I'm going to just pop that, ink that up. I'm going to pop it down here. Just bring it down a little bit, get my head hopefully not in the way. Try and do it straight. Just excuse me for a minute while I bring it down so I'm straight. Here we are. Okay, so that's my sentiment there. So the reason I've done that is because I want to then bring this piece of cardstock just above that sentiment. I didn't want to go too low and I didn't want to go too high, so I thought I'd better put the sentiment in first. So now I can actually glue in our W bracket. Take it from that side. Line this up as best I can so it's straight all the way along. And I'm going to glue this one. And then just fold it over so that it glues to the other side. Here we go. So there we are. That's our W. Now you'll notice my W doesn't fold exactly flat, and that's because I've brought that each end of it in a little bit, because the cardstock is the same length as our card. So because I've brought it in a bit, our W will stay slightly raised when the card's completely open. But that doesn't matter because we're going to be closing it, and then it's going to be on display like that. So it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, so as I say, we've got our W piece in there. So what else I have are 4 additional pieces of basic black cardstock, which are basically to go like this. And then I have 4 pieces of more of the designer series paper, which are also going to go, they're going to go onto our black like this. So that's the basis of our decoration there. Okay, so the first 2 that at either end can be glued just directly to our card base, so we'll do that. So these little pieces here, the basic black from memory, and as I say, I'm going to put all the measurements in the comments, so don't worry too much. They are 3 3/8 by 2 1/2, and the designer series paper is 3 1/4, yep, by 2 3/8, yep, that's right. So just slightly smaller. So I'm going to glue this designer series paper onto our black. straight onto our card base. So lining it up with the bottom of our little W bracket and up. Keep it straight. There we are. And the same with the other end. Like that. Okay, so that's those bits. Oops, just moved a little bit. There we are. Okay, so we can just pop that aside for a little bit, just while we concentrate on these two central ones. Again, I'm going to use the other side of our designer series paper, the nice mossy meadow leaves, and I'm going to have them up this time, facing upwards. And I'll just attach them as well. I'm also going to decorate these with some of our beautiful die cut magnolias as well. Okay, so we've got those there. So what I have done using the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set, I have stamped some small magnolias here, and I've coloured them with blends. So I've got one already coloured. I'm just going to finish off the second one. So with the blends, I've got my dark old olive, which I'm just going to use on the leaves. There we go. And just on the little stem there. And then I have light and dark petal pink. There we go. I'm going to put the dark petal pink down towards the base of our little flower, our little magnolia. Just where the shadows would be, where it would be slightly darker. There we are. And then with our light petal pink, I'm just going to blend that lighter towards the top. And you just blend, just go around it, tiny sort of circular motion, just very lightly, and it blends the light in with the dark, which is the wonderful thing about our blends. You get that lovely two-tone effect, sort of really natural. Okay. There we go, easy. Okay, so I'm going to decorate our two little panels here before I actually glue them onto our card, because basically, as I say, that central bracket sits up, so it's a bit hard to work with. So I'm going to take one of our little flowers. I'm going to have it coming from the top down to the centre, so sort of peeking in like that. Just like that. And our other one, I did previously, just have him coming from the bottom up, just like that. And then I have two sentiments here. I have a Thinking of You, which is the one that we've got going with the longer sentiment. I'm just going to pop that on there, and I'm going to tuck it just behind our little bud, just behind it, so you can still see the words, but it just gives it a little sort of special effect. A little bit of glue on that, and just tuck it down behind there, just like that. Okay, make sure it's straight-ish. Okay, so there we are. That's sort of sweet, isn't it? There we go. And then our second one, and I have a probably not overly appropriate sentiment here, but I thought since we're using sentiments, you can use whatever sentiment you actually like. So just put there, and I've got enjoy today, which is another just showcasing the sentiments in this actual stamp set. And you pop that there. That might be more of an appropriate sort of birthday greeting, not sort of, yeah, sort of thing, but just to show you what the set actually has. Okay, so we might attach those now. So I'm going to attach these to our little W bracket as well. So I'm just going to pop some glue on there and pop that there. Just lining it up with the bottom of our little W. And then this one the same. Just pop the glue on here and align that one as well. Okay, so this one's slightly different in the fact you can see that I've positioned all my rectangles sort of at the top half of our card. You could alternate them. You could have them, you know, up down sort of thing, but not without the sentiment, of course. Or I've also done one where I had this one in the top half, that one in the top half, and both of these in the bottom. So you can mix it up as much as you like. Whereas I suppose with our original one, we've got them all centrally located across the centre there. But this one is looking sort of more, it's just a little bit different. So we'll just make sure that stays, just bring it down and give it a bit of a press to make sure that glue stays. And there we are. So that's the inside of our card pretty much done there. That's quite nice. So for the outside, I'm going to decorate it much the same as you would a sort of a normal sort of card. I have a piece of the designer series paper, and I'm going to use this pink side. First of all, I thought I might use this one. I think I might use the pink because I'm also going to bring in one of the larger magnolias from the stamp set, which is the beautiful large magnolia bloom, which I'm going to pop in here. And I have another stitched nested label, which I'm going to sort of poke up again, continuing the same sort of theme, poke up underneath, and I'm going to pop a sentiment on there as well, maybe a happy birthday. So it's a bit of a mixed bag of sentiments, this card, but you know, you can see you wouldn't have to have them all. Okay, so I'm going to, actually what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to hold, you see how this sort of bounces open. What I'm going to do is actually hold this one closed with some ribbon, and I'm going to use the Petal Pink ribbon, organdy ribbon. I'll just find my scissors and I'll cut myself a piece of that. Okay, so I've got quite a long piece there. That's probably a good 50 or 60 centimetres or 40 or 50 centimetres. So what I'm going to do is position, this is the back of my card here. So line that up so I can know where halfway is. Grab some double-sided tape. Grab some double-sided tape and put that across the back, just to hold the ribbon in place on the back. So that's a good, what? That's 12 halfway, so that's what, 13, that's 12 and a half, so halfway would be 6 1/4, so it's in there. So just pop some double-sided tape across the centre. Yep, just like that. And then we'll lay our ribbon, just got to be that way. So the ribbon's going to wrap all the way around the card, so you make sure it's nice and long. I may not have quite the length I need here. Just lay that there and flip it around. Yep. Okay, so then I'm going to pop my designer series paper over the top of that to secure that in place. designer series paper down. There. Okay, so that's going to tie with a cute little knot or a bow and keep that closed. Might be a knot because I don't think I've left enough. Let's have a see. There we go. Okay, so the front we're going to decorate with, as I say, with our magnolia, which I have coloured the same way as the smaller magnolias. So it's old olive on the leaves and light and dark petal pink on the bloom, and it's got a tiny bit of So Saffron on the centre there, so all with blends. And our sentiment box is going to just snuggle up underneath there. Just position that so I can get the best coverage without too much. And then I'm going to bring in the might just make it hello. That's nice and general. So the stamp set comes with lots of really nice sentiments, and this one's just a hello. I'm just going to pop that on the little part of our stitched nested label that pokes out from behind our magnolia. There we go. So I might bring the glue in and attach that sentiment box like that, and then our magnolia will just go there. I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals just for a bit of something special. I've got my end bits here, I'll use these. Always use your end bits of your dimensionals, get the best value for your money. Oop, can hear you. There we go. Here we are. Oops, come on you. There we go. We'll pop this on here. As I say, just covering a little bit of our sentiment box, but not too much. There. Okay, so there is the front of our W fold card. So that's really cute. I don't know if you can see, but I actually did that magnolia on shimmer paper, white shimmery paper. So it does have a little bit of a shimmer to it, which is really, really, really pretty. Okay, so with our ribbon there, tying it closed, we'll just open that again. And then you see our beautiful W on the inside. So there we go. Really, really lovely, versatile card design. As I say, you can do it quite sophisticated in the black and white. You can do it for the kids in the dinosaur, or you can do it just really sort of layer it up with this one, which is really lovely as well. So I don't know which one everyone would use more. I think I quite like this one, and this is my favourite as well. So okay, so there's 3 versions of a W fold card. I hope you enjoyed watching me make that one, and that you'll give that one a go yourself. As I say, I'll put all the measurements and all the products that I've used in these cards in the comments to this video, and if you require any help with Stampin' Up products, please drop me a line. send me a message. Go over to my Facebook page and keep in touch that way. And if you're in Australia and you don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I'd love to help you with your card making requirements. So it's a great hobby, and it's a lovely thing to be able to give these sorts of things to your family and friends. So anyway, thanks for being with me this time. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will catch you all later.